I dominated on JV. I played kicker on JV.
Bro. You was a kicker on
JV.
JV.
Look, I kicked the ball off one time, right? Running on the field, I heard a whistle blow, and I turned around, and a dude come and just clothesline me, and I got flipped. I'm 6'2", like 90. I got flipped. I'm like, yo, I'm not kicking the ball no more. But yeah, we definitely had a lot of guys come out of Richmond. We got Hakeem, we got Tyler Warren. I can tell what we did to his school, but yeah.
Just speak on it.
I played quarterback, tight end, punter. And he broke one of my friend's legs on a pick.
Okay, wow.
So yeah, he played everything.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think we put like 60 on him though. Like I took my pads off halftime.
Oh, Ty Ward is playing. You're on the sideline talking crazy to him. When I was running low on funds in the summertime, like my stipend would be running low, right? Again, I'm a big black kid with a mohawk, not to feed into stereotypes, but I go to that pool over at the Pollock, and it used to be open in the summer for students that were there. I'd get in that swim lane, and I'd charge drunk college kids $20 to race me, and I would get my food money off of that. I would race drunk college kids in the middle of that pool, cook them. $20, just like that. Cash App, Venmo, whatever you got. I'm just telling you, free pizza money, bro. That fed me many times my freshman year, that concept. So. What's going on, everybody? Aeneas Hawkins here in the Family Clothesline. If you have not found your way here, make sure to stop in. You can find Family Clothesline at 352 East College Ave, of course, State College, PA 16801. Make sure to stop in if you haven't yet. If you're gonna go online, you can find Family Clothesline at www.pennstateclothes.com. Visit us in the heart of Lion Country. We have extended hours here at the Family Clothesline on home football weekends, or you can find us 24/7 at www.pennstateclothes.com. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Lion's Den. As always, I'm your host, Aeneas Hawkins, joined by my guy, D'Von J-Thomas. D'Von, do the honor of bringing in our esteemed guest today for me, please.
Of course. We are here with Virginia native, up-and-coming superstar at defensive tackle, Alonzo Ford.
What's going on, man? How y'all doing, brother?
Good, man. Appreciate you joining us, Alonzo, as always, man.
Yes, sir.
I still remember the first time I saw you in the weight room, man. I was excited. I had heard about you coming in. For those who don't know, I'm sure a lot of people are starting to know who you are, obviously, with the way you've been playing the last few weeks. But I remember you coming in from Old Dominion at a time where you were injured and you were in there working out. And I remember talking to Chuck Losey way back then when you first got here, and he told me, this dude's going to be a guy for us, and you're starting to turn into that. But before we get into that, I want to start with the initial journey, coming out of high school, ultimately end up playing at ODU. Talk to me a little bit about what recruiting was like coming up and how you got to that place.
So coming out of high school for me, I mean, I had like 20 offers or so, and honestly, it was kind of hard for me to decipher like between the schools. It was like, if you're not on the Power 5 level, beyond that, it's just like everybody has the same thing. So you're just choosing like who be the better coach and best position to get in the playing field and everything like that early. So I was just like, I think I had a couple schools that wanted me to come in, and one school wanted me to Glacier, and I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna go to Old Dominion. I'm gonna start and just do what I got to do. So yeah, it was just like best opportunity to get on the field early.
And so what did that look like for you at ODU? Like, what did that progression look like in terms of your play style and how you developed as a player?
Coming in early, I mean, I was just a really wild, reckless guy, honestly. It was kind of hard for me to stay on my feet. I had to gain my technique to really just stay on my feet and be able to play with blocks and things like that. So, I mean, it took a while. My first year, we had a season canceled in 2020 because it was COVID. So we had time to really develop and sit down with my coach, and he really walked me through the steps to really getting the technique down, the base down, to be able to play with that explosiveness and just be reckless and play fun, have fun.
You bring up your coach at ODU, and I'm sure there are Penn State fans who know it watching, but ODU in a lot of ways is like Penn State Junior.
Penn State pipeline.
Head coach Ricky Ronnie, all kinds of coaches on their staff. I played for Penn State. You played for Penn State.
Coach Kev
Smith, for sure. But let me ask you, Alonzo, coming to Penn State, having already dealt with that staff, do you feel like you had a leg up in terms of what you thought the expectation would be and how the system would actually operate?
Oh, yeah, I definitely think so. Because, I mean, coming between the two programs, there's not much of a difference. I mean, you guys are a lot bigger, per se, but the structure and, like, the expectations and everything like that, it just kind of transfers over, and it's pretty easy.
Yeah. And so in terms of like play style, did that change a lot for you going from ODU to Penn State? You know, ODU's defense, you know, you guys are very good on defense. Actually, for those of you who don't know, ODU is actually very, very good.
Pretty good.
On defense. You have to give them their respect. But in terms of transitioning from that defense to our defense, what did that look like for you?
It was a bit of an adjustment. I mean, coming here, we played more of a definitely attacking style defense, but Old Dominion was an attacking style defense, but the way we played blocks and things like that, it was more of a play vertical, but kind of play at the line of scrimmage so you could play gaps. So we were a gap sound defense, really, and here we were a gap sound, but we're very vertical. Like you can jump around a little bit, get through, and just make plays. So
no, I was about to say, and so in terms of your play style, you know, I believe you're definitely one of, if not the most technical defensive lineman that we have in our room. How do you think that's helped you transition or make those big plays in these last couple weeks, especially, you know?
I mean, I feel like it definitely helped. I mean, we're definitely having like hand placement, foot technique, and things like that, to be able to have proper footwork and be able to play those blocks. That definitely helped me a lot, just learning that things and coming across.
Yeah.
How big of a jump was it, you know, just from a talent perspective and the guys that you're playing against, even just in practice, like that group up front at Penn State, we've seen all year play really well. A lot of NFL guys in that group. Did you feel like the jump was a lot to deal with coming in, or did you feel like the quality of player you were kind of spoke for itself and transitioned pretty easily?
Yeah, I mean, speak for myself, it was a transition I knew I was going to have to do, but it was like I was confident in myself to be able to play against anything. I mean, I played against Power 5 teams that would have been before, of course, and we had a few guys on our team actually go to the NFL, go play for the league and get drafted and things. So I played NFL caliber guys. I played guys that kind of match the caliber of the guys here, you know. So it wasn't that bad, but it was definitely a little transition. Speed with everybody.
The speed, yeah, no, for sure.
Guys a little faster.
There's levels. I mean, that's the reality of the situation. Speaking of guys you play with at ODU, quick shout out. I'm not sure if you remember him, but Jeremy Miser was a D tackle at ODU. He went to my high school and was my old head. Like, that was the guy that took me under my wing, and you had him at ODU as an old head, which is like, football's such a small world, bro. You never know. Yeah. But I want to ask you, I mean, again, you battled with the injury when you got to Penn State. You had to deal with that. And again, we talk about development and being able to adjust to the speed that the Big Ten brings and Penn State has, obviously. And I feel like a lot of times when you see people get injured, the initial reaction is, oh, this is a negative thing. And although it is adversity, I want to ask you, do you feel like you came out of the injury better, more cerebral, and more well-rounded after what you had dealt with?
I definitely think so. I mean, the injury gave me a different perspective on life. I mean, it makes you appreciate things a lot more. I mean, once you get something taken away from you like that, you're like, dang, like the little things start to matter a lot more. Just everything. So, I mean, yeah, I definitely came out with a much better perspective on football and everything. My approach became better. My practice habits, my everything, how I prepare to do anything just came out better. So I think it definitely helped me.
Yeah. And so how instrumental do you think Coach Dion and Coach Torrance have been so far in your process, you know, transitioning from ODU to Penn State, adjusting to the speed, the playbook, and everything? Like, how instrumental have they been in your development so far?
They've been very instrumental. I mean, Coach Dion and Coach Torrance, they've helped me a lot. I mean, shoot, when it comes back to just getting back to running after my injury and things like that, I mean, they came out there and ran with me a little bit.
That's funny, man.
You know, conditioning test.
That condition, you hear that 5 seconds, you start a little different.
Yeah, how did they compare the conditioning test to where you were before? Like, were you shocked a little bit here?
All right, so you said football world real small, right? When I first got to Old Dominion, Deej Galt.
Little Deej?
Little Deej was my strength coach.
Who is crazier than his daddy was.
Yeah.
Wow.
Little
Deej is saying something. And that's saying something.
So we had a little, like, a altered version of the conditioning test my freshman year, but I was light, you know what I'm saying? So I was doing it cool, easy. I get here, I'm like, all right, it's going to be cool. Same thing, right? First year I did it, it was cool. I almost died on the last rep, but I made it. Come back after injury, it was a little tough. I was like, man, this joint deep.
Yeah.
I'm a little heavy right now, so I was like, all right, but just got to strive through it. But Coach came out there with me a little bit, and I said, gave me extra motivation, and we got through it. So
there you go. That conditioning test ain't no joke, boy. We done all had. Don't let Vaughn fool you. I know Vaughn probably playing the cool. He's a vet in the room. Vaughn done had battles with the conditioning test.
Boy, I did. When I first got there, you know, shout out to Antonio Shelton.
Antonio Valentino now.
My bad. Valentino. My apologies, brother. He kind of set the tone, you know, like he was a heavier body, you know what I mean? And I come in first day, once again, we're far removed from the situation.
Right.
First day, I'm seeing them run the conditioning test because they had just came back off of trouble. You know, they had issues with the fraternities.
Yep, I remember that.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it was Yetur, Tone. Then you had who was it? I think it was Rob.
Rob Windsor.
Rob. They get to the 8th rep. He's dying. He's about to cross the line. I'm like, is he gonna make it? So he crossed the line. He said, "Peace, I'm done with this," and he just started going crazy. Like, I don't even know why I need to do this. I'm blah blah blah. I'm like, yo,
I know exactly what day you're talking about.
I'm like, I'm looking around like, is anybody else seeing this right now? Bro, it was crazy.
So that day that he's talking about, I think it's the same day. If not, Tone had 2 instances with the conditioning test because there was one time, I don't know if you knew PJ Mustafa, but PJ was my guy. We came in together. So it was me, him, and Tone is running next to us. This was my freshman year. So this is a different conditioning test. How I think about it. I'm like 37% body fat. So I'm getting smoked. Like I can't do nothing with the conditioning test. I'm just trying to survive. And Tone was coming off of a hamstring injury. So he's not making none of his time. This is like the net projected starter. And Deej is like walking him down, talking crazy to him. I'm not sure if Tone was really hurt or not, but Deej wasn't hearing that. Like, he wanted him to hit his times. This bull Tone, I'm a freshman. I had never seen this before. He turns around while Deej is yelling at him, doesn't say nothing, screams at the top of his lungs. You know them big white water coolers that probably weigh like 100 pounds, 150 pounds?
Yeah.
Bull snatched it up off the ground, like power cleaned it, and threw it overhead like 5 yards, bro. I'm like, bro, if you got that much energy to throw the cooler,
Yeah, you can run this mission in time.
like, don't throw a panic attack. Like, anyway, shout out Tone, man. No disrespect intended.
Nah, far removed from the situation, so that's all that matters.
That conditioning test is real, though, man. So, and let me ask you this. So, we're talking about development, and obviously this year, and let's be real, that D tackle room at the start of the year was not easy to play in by any means. There's a lot of talent in that room. Both you guys are part of it, and so many of you guys play well together. But your role wasn't gigantic to start the year. You've earned everything that's been given to you up to this point, and now you're playing high level, and you're playing a lot. Your numbers on the field a lot, and you're doing good things. So talk me through the mentality and what the focus was that has allowed you to improve throughout the season and be prepared for your moment when it comes.
I mean, really, it was just like a prepare, like you want to be the starter type thing. I mean, we have a next man up mentality, and that's my program and everything like that. So it was just like going to practice and getting back to work. I mean, I had to get back into my fundamentals and doing things like that. It was my first time playing football in, a year and some change?
Right.
Yeah. In August.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you think about that, it's really like, I felt like a freshman on the field again.
For sure. That's real.
I'm like, dude, dang, I got to figure this back out. So I'm figuring things out, and then this came in like week 4 or 5. I was like, all right, I got it now. I can start playing on my smoothness and things like that, and then just getting my feet running and stuff like that. And I was like, all right, cool, I got it. I can play now.
Yeah, hey, bro, and the thing about it is you play with such, like, I feel like from watching the tape, like you play with such a high level of composure. Where does that composure come from? Is that the confidence in your technique, or?
A bit of confidence and a bit of, from my old school to older me, and I had to be a young guy that had to lead a room early on. So, I mean, I'm a freshman, and I'm really, I'm starter. I'm getting named starter my redshirt freshman year, I guess you can call it. And I had to really like lead a group of guys, 13, 14 guys, and I'm like, dang, all right, what I got to do? I got to stay calm, be the one to be able to like, all right, come on, guys, we got to get together, keep going, keep fighting, whatever we got to do, get through anything we got to get through. So it was just like combination of everything like that.
Yeah. We always, we like to ask guys what their why is. You talk about the maturity and the ability to lead a room at a young age, even though that's difficult to do. Like, that's really impressive. I mean, that's not something that you see no matter what level you're at. So I want to ask you, obviously there has to be somebody in your life that has contributed to the mindset and the maturity that you clearly have displayed from a jump. So talk to me a little bit about that home life. What is inspiring you to be the person that you are today?
I mean, both my parents really, I mean, they wouldn't have had the best situations growing up for themselves, but they both showed me like perseverance, education, staying dedicated with your goal that you got in mind. Stand true to that and just working towards it every day. You'll get to it eventually. I mean, they built a fantastic life for me and my siblings. So I thanks for them for all of that. And then it's just like they inspired me to go to school and do everything I need to do every day to just be straight through and through.
Yeah, that's a common factor, Von. Crazy. Go ahead.
I mean, it is a crazy common factor. Parents who have gone through, so many things in their youth, they've tried their best to kind of put their children in position so that they don't have to go through that. And I think the biggest thing in terms of success that we see, like, the children understand it. Like, you understand it. You understand what your parents have gone through, why they went through that, and you don't want to go through it yourself, and you don't want them to see you go through it. I think that's the biggest thing in terms of, how guys like you are so successful, moving through life just because you've seen your parents go through that. Yeah. So that's it's just a tremendous thing. Where you're coming from, your whys, your roots. Playing in Virginia, we oftentimes have a lot of conversations about Virginia football and, how good they might be.
Allegedly.
Yeah, so what did your high school career look like? What did your high school football, what does that say about you?
High school football, I mean, my stats are pretty nice.
What are the stats, Alonzo? What are the numbers talking about?
What are the numbers?
We got to look it up. I don't remember them exactly, but my stats pretty nice, Well, I started varsity my freshman year.
Oh, true freshman. Easy money.
So
Okay.
I started like 5-6 games of varsity my freshman year. But I did start off on JV. I dominated on JV. I played kicker on JV.
Bro. You was a kicker on
Tell you a
JV.
story. Look, I kicked the ball off one time, right? Running on the field. I heard the whistle blow, and I turned around, and a dude come and just clotheslined me, and I got flipped.
You got flipped.
Whoa. I'm 6'2", like 90. I got flipped. I'm like, yo, I'm not kicking the ball no more.
You're done with that.
Yeah, that was the last time.
But nah, high school, I mean, freshman year was pretty cool. Sophomore year, I broke my hand the second game of the season, something like that, and came back like the last 3 or 4 games, and I got my first offer that year. So, I mean,
Okay.
Boston
Who was the
College,
first
I believe.
offer? Boston College?
Yep.
Okay, that's a good one.
BC.
That's a good one. Who was your first offer, Von?
UNC actually.
North Carolina.
Yeah, the Coach Adams. He came into the office. He had just got done watching my film, and then he shook my hand. He said, "Wow, son, you have pretty big hands."
He thought you were going to get taller.
Yeah.
He thought he was going to get taller. He was wrong.
I just got taller than Hawk and stopped growing. But no, he said, you have really big hands. I'm like, appreciate it, coach. And then he was like, well, I just got done watching your film with your coach, man. You have a lot going for you, big hands, good size. You got a lot of room to fill out. We'd like to offer you, a scholarship to UNC. I said, huh?
That's exciting. That's exciting. What year is this?
This was like my sophomore year. I started getting offers like late, but once they started coming, like they just started rolling in.
Yeah, sophomore year being late. Listen to this guy, man. There's so many kids who go into their senior season like praying for somebody to look at them.
Because you got to think about it, right? So I went to school with PJ.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This guy, his name is DeJuan Ellis. He was a quarterback.
Yep.
He ran like a 10.5, 100. Yeah.
That's moving.
QB, fast as I don't know what. And then you had my brother Jordan, God rest his soul.
Yep.
He went there, and all of them were getting like offers out the gate. Like Maryland, you always get your homeschool first. I never got that.
Right.
So I'm in my sophomore year. My first offer come from UNC. So I'm like, okay, cool, bet.
Right.
And they had just been getting offers and offers and offers. I see Coach Franklin flying in on a helicopter to watch them play my freshman year. I'm like, okay, come watch me.
Check the kid out, man.
Yeah, you feel me?
Yeah, not for sure. That makes sense to me. Yeah, I remember being a sophomore, and there's a kid, Zach Carpenter, who I love. He's a starting center at Miami, actually, right now. And I remember it was like my head coach was walking in front of us with a recruiter from Kentucky. Yeah. And me and Zach Carpenter were walking behind him. We're like all heading to the team lift. And my coach is like, yo, we got this lineman. I'm telling you, he's D1. He don't got no offers yet, but it's like he's going to be one of them ones. It's like he's gassing it up. And I'm sitting there, I'm getting excited. I'm like, you think that's like, yeah. Turn around, coach. I'm right here, bro. Yeah. Mohawk faded up, ready to go. He's like, I want to introduce you to my guy, Zach. I'm like, oh, keep on walking, bro. I ain't getting no love early. And then another thing that bothers me, so obviously I ended up getting offers my sophomore year. And at one point I had like 10, 12 offers, and they're all like big dogs. Like I started hot, and it's like Florida State, Notre Dame, like a bunch of those type of schools. I'm in Cincinnati. My dad is the highest draft pick in the modern era at the University of Cincinnati. My mom's a Hall of Fame track athlete. Wow. I got all these schools offering me off of JV tape, no camp, none of that. I'm like, I really want to go to Cincinnati. Like, what are they going to offer me? So I end up hitting them up. They're like, yo, you got to come to camp. I'm like, bro, I got O State and Notre Dame, and my whole family's from here. You're like, nah, you're not good enough, gang. Come prove that. But I pulled up, though. I definitely pulled up, though. I got the offer. They give you the offer? They slid that offer, bro. But it was just crazy. Like, bro, you're like 4-8.
Why you testing me? Yeah.
Like, don't play with me, bro. Like, anyway, back to you, Alonzo. I'm not sure what we're talking about right now.
We just went on the tangent.
I'm talking about high school.
Yeah. And then so, like, in terms of, high school ball, like, we get into this conversation a lot. So, like, who was your biggest competition going into it? We have other guys on the team or used to be on the team from Virginia.
Yep.
One of them being Hakeem. Y'all come from the same area. So what was it like seeing, like, talent come from Virginia and then you being the next guy?
It was definitely an experience, and playing against those guys was fun. A little bit different, especially playing against Keem. Like, I was like a freshman year we scrimmaged him, I think. Yeah. He was coming up the edge. I was playing left tackle, and I was like, oh.
Was he a problem? Yeah, I believe it.
But yeah, we definitely had a lot of guys come out of Richmond. We got Hakeem, we got Tyler Warren. On the team now. So, I mean, I ain't gonna tell you what we did to his school, but yeah.
Nah, just speak on it.
I want to know what did you do to Tyler Lawrence
we
High
had
School?
him on the show early on, so he won't be back to defend himself.
Yeah. What did we do to Tyler Lawrence High School? So, I think it was my senior year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was he playing quarterback, by the way?
Ty played quarterback, tight end, punter, and I think he broke one of my friend's legs on a pick.
Okay, wow.
So, he played everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think we put like 60 on him though.
Oh,
like I
easy.
took my pads off halftime.
Oh, Ty Ward is playing. You're on the sideline talking crazy to him. Yeah, can't hang with him.
But nah, it was definitely a fun experience. They had a good little atmosphere there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Now, how would you compare when we talk about Maryland, right? And we talk about high school football talent. How do you guys stack up against Maryland?
And be honest, it's okay.
So let me ask you D'Von this question. How far did you live from your high school?
About 35 minutes, 40 minutes.
40 minutes. It's almost an hour.
Right. Okay.
Everybody in Maryland, nobody lives near their high school.
Right.
They all
So
go
you're
to
saying
private
it's
schools. They all just recruited from all over the state.
Right.
Virginia,
They
you are
cheating.
playing at your home school, maybe 10 minutes away because you got a little waiver or something like that.
Okay.
But nobody's going the whole private school team up.
Right.
Best in the state. They got everybody in the state going to one school.
Right. It's like 3 good teams in Maryland, and the rest are trash.
Half our team came from this high school.
Wow.
And you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy about that? You transferred to Penn State, right?
Yeah.
Right, for what?
Football. Play football.
To play higher, better
I love
competition,
football.
right?
Yeah.
Same thing in Maryland. You know, we're not going to our local high schools. You know, no disrespect to any of the local high schools in the area, but it's just not the same level of competition. I think you have to understand that. We're not going to go see a team and just blow them out by 60 because they're just any team. You know what I mean?
I think that was a credit to how good our team was. But
This is interesting stuff, man.
No,
every team, I think about it like this, like in Richmond, I say the talent pool is so good because every team has 5, 6, 7 different Division I guys that are playing on high levels, Clemson's, schools like that, you know?
Yeah.
So it's playing local neighborhood schools, but people are growing up in those programs from like rec league, middle school ball, then going to high school. So it's like a traditional thing. It's like a neighborhood pride thing to play in our home schools type in Virginia.
That makes sense.
That makes sense. I mean, look, I respect it, you know, but if it was up to me and it was a Virginia team versus a Maryland team, well, like what's the livest Virginia team?
Right now? I'm gonna say Verona High School, but
Versus McDonough, St. Francis, Spalding, Good Counsel, Gonzaga.
Baddest.
I mean, I'm just saying.
The combo 3 times a year, bro.
Yeah.
How was your
And I
school?
don't know why he's talking because there's only 3 schools in Ohio. It was
cap.
the one he went to, the one Sean and Liam went to, and then there was one more.
That's cap. Okay, so Ohio football, if you know football and you Google anything about it, we have probably some of the best high school football in the country. You got my school, yes, 8 national titles. I don't even know how many state titles. You know how we get down. It's Archbishop Moeller, home of Ken Griffey Jr., home of Aeneas Hawkins. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, not that we belong in the same conversation. But we got real football. And the thing is, at the end of the day, we were in the Big 33 for years and years against Pennsylvania, back when the Big 33 meant something. They took us out of the Big 33 because it wasn't even competitive.
Yeah,
it was pointless for Ohio to be in the game because we knew what time it was, which is why they put Maryland in the Big 33 rather than us to try to make it more competitive. So, you know, I think the fruits of Ohio's labor speak for themselves.
Yeah, they got real good chili.
We got LeBron James too, so let's not get it twisted.
I mean, LA has LeBron James. So
I'm quarterback from Ohio, so I'm good with Ohio.
that's why Drew Aller, Ohio. What are we talking about?
okay, back to Alonzo. Look,
please.
look. So, you know, we're going into this week. You know, we're coming out of the week. We just played Washington, right? And we just played Washington in the whiteout. Incredible atmosphere. Shout out to Nittany Nation.
Yeah.
But now we're going into a semi-hostile environment with Purdue. What is their front looking like? How do you think we're gonna play it? How do you think they're gonna play it? You know, just give us a little bit of tips for the game.
All right, so watching a little bit of film of them, I think they're definitely a team that's going to try to get their line movement outside of the pocket, you know what I'm saying, moving around, get the quarterback outside the pocket. They seen us. A lot of teams don't want to run the ball up the middle of us. I don't know if you've seen Vaughn last game. He was pointing at the coach telling him to run the ball our way, right?
He was daring him, yeah.
Right. So I think they're going to really try to move the ball outside the pocket, quick passes, things like that. And I think that we're just going to attack them and play our regular D. I mean, We getting there.
Yeah. I guess that's what it seems like. I mean, you guys are both on the team, but as the viewer, it just seems like this defense is the same every week in the sense that they set the tone. The opponent isn't setting anything. There's a standard at every position, and everybody's playing at a high level. So I'm definitely looking forward to this week. And another tidbit about this week to those back home who may not remember, Cole Brevard over at Purdue. Is a Penn State guy. Von knows him well. I know him well. He is tied for the lead, I think, amongst interior defensive linemen for sacks at Purdue. So him and Nick Dawkins in the clutch again. Dawg had to play MOBA week 1, his best friend.
And MOBA this past weekend just had 13 tackles.
No doubt.
He went crazy. Bro, he had 13 tackles. So 5 solo, 8 assists.
That's crazy.
Yes.
Shout out MOBA, man. But Nick Dawkins is facing 2 of his good friends from college in the same season. He's now matched up with Cole Brevard. And speaking of Dawg, I want to ask you, all kinds of good interior offensive linemen at Penn State. Obviously, you guys are competing every day. But I want you to give me your top 3 guys that is like the most competitive with. It doesn't have to be which guys are the best. Like I know for me, when I was at Penn State, a guy that I knew I was going to have to literally fist fight after every play was C.J. Thorpe. I knew every time I got in a stance, I was probably going to be in a fight after the play. So who are the guys that you line up and you know will smoke every time?
So let me tell you this. We got Vega.
Okay. Yeah. That strong inside punch.
Vega's the strongest inside punch ever. Cooper Cousins.
Okay.
He's a real aggressive guy. Yeah, he's real aggressive.
Does he can stand and bang with you guys? Like he'll go in there and get competitive with y'all?
He'll get in there and try to do it.
He's a young guy. That's impressive.
He can do it. He's hold his own.
He's not scared.
Yeah.
Right.
Coop coming at you.
Man.
And I'm going to tell you about a guy that's on our developmental squad right now.
Yeah.
Caleb Brewer.
Okay. Yeah. Bro, that's what, okay, so
Talking about you have to fight every play with him?
He's one of those.
Yeah.
Anyway, what was I going to say? You got me off my train of thought.
My bad, bro. My bad, bro.
Anyway, this is my point. So you bring up the D-Squad guys.
Yeah.
People don't know. That's where, like, the real action is happening because you guys are seeing each other every Tuesday and Wednesday for, like, 20 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
So there's some natural-born animosity that builds. I remember a guy, Derek Tangelo, was beefing with your guy, Will Knutson, who was a career-long scout team guy. And I remember K-Nut blocked him and wasn't really, I mean, he was an NFL D tackle. K-Nut's not supposed to be blocking you.
Yeah.
And Tangelo's getting pissed. They're beefing. And I remember looking down for 1 second. The snap happens. I look up at the snap. They don't even come off and strike. They might have touched each other a little bit and immediately
Punches.
Boosh, boosh, like in the middle of the play, like combination punches from both of them. Like, it's different down there for sure, especially at this time of the year.
That's real talk. It looked like when me and Hawk got into it. Bro, you were saying?
Fight night, though. I mean, the D-Squad scrimmages, Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Different.
Yes. So what is that like for you in terms of like what y'all did on Sundays versus what we did on Sundays? Was there a lot of that at ODU?
We had it, but it wasn't as much fighting, I would say. Really? We didn't have that many guys. Like, our numbers weren't as big. So we were really using our guys in the game. So they did it every once in a while. When they did it, it was like, all right, they don't want to be too much playing around. Yeah.
Right.
But it was interesting, though.
Yeah. This is the thing. You don't want to be a scout team guy at Penn State because the numbers at Penn State are always good enough to where if you're really not that, you will never get off that scout team. You will sit there, and they got 50 of y'all, and they will play 36 snaps in a row and see who quits first just because they're bored.
Yes.
And there's nothing worse than on Sundays than everybody else. Jesse Luketa, D'Von J-Thomas, walk around in T-shirts and shorts. And you get to your cubby, and you got pads and knee braces, and it's a Sunday afternoon. Your family's in church. And you got to go out there and fight with Damian Barber in the game, bro. There's nothing worse than that. So
Hey, what you about to do after this, Hawk? I'm about to go get a Chipotle bowl and lay down.
Remember that?
Yes.
Bro, I used to get a double layer burrito from Chipotle on Sundays and not talk to nobody till Tuesday, bro. Every week, guaranteed. Guaranteed.
All right, so we're talking about D-Squad guys. We're talking about, development amongst those guys. Who have you seen in the NFL, your top 3 defensive linemen that you would say helped in your development or you try to model your game after?
A guy that recently came out, Calais Cansey. He's a pretty good guy. I watched a lot of his film at Old Dominion when I was coming up and developing a little bit. Dexter Lawrence.
I like
another
guy.
That's a great
Big boy dancing dude.
Yeah.
When are y'all gonna hit that? What are y'all got?
He's leading the NFL right now, sacks for interior defensive lineman at 9.
A lot. He's doing well.
Yeah,
He's crazy.
Nah, he's doing incredible.
And then, Christian Jones for the Chiefs. Yeah.
Dominant player.
Yeah, no, he's crazy. He's definitely crazy. One guy I thought you were going to say was Quentin Williams. Quentin Williams is, like, in terms of technique, getting extension, like, I feel like you guys your games are very similar in the fact that, you know, every single rep, you're getting extension, getting separation, coming off, making a play.
He's definitely a guy I watch a little bit of too. I mean, that was just the first guys that came to my mind, really.
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. Now, of course.
Let me ask you, so when you evaluate yourself as a player, I mean, there's some guys who have great leverage. There's some guys who also are athletic. They're really strong. What is your strength as a D tackle? What do you feel like you do really well? I know Von keeps speaking to your technique.
I definitely would say trying to keep leverage and things like that, getting extension, and then flexibility. I would say like
You're flexible.
flexible.
Can you do the splits, bro?
When I was younger, yeah,
When you was younger?
maybe like 10, 12, maybe.
Okay. Nah, I was just wondering.
Yeah.
But yeah, really like flexibility is like something I work on every day.
Okay.
Ankle flexibility, just really just being able to bend around and get in some of those awkward positions you need to get in to make tackles on the D tackle. Like
Especially on the interior, bro.
you in tight quarters, you got to sometimes just hit the ground and bend around somebody's leg and just
Yeah.
try to get there. So
For sure. How crucial has Chuck Losey been in your development and Coach T?
So they've taken me from really not lifting a lot of weights. I wasn't a guy that really enjoyed the weight room. I locked in with those guys. I enjoyed the weight room a lot.
You good?
I enjoy the weight room a lot now, so I really can do a lot of like power lifts and stuff like that. I got super strong when I was hurt.
It's a good feeling though, like when you're, because I didn't come in a strong guy. Like there's some guys who come in and they're just like God gifted in the weight room. Like,
Yeah.
I was definitely not one of them guys, and I do feel like by the end of my career, it was like laughable how much stronger I was because of Chuck Losey and his programs. Like,
Well, I mean, 100%. But when I first got here, I mean, I was field strong, but I wasn't weight room strong. And now you throw 385 on, I'll rep it out for 6 for you if you want.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, it's
on
different
that.
now.
Yeah, that's a little bit different than what I was talking about. That's a blessing. That's a God-given athlete right there.
But it's a lot different. And just in terms of like points of emphasis for, you know, our defense, you know, what have you seen from Coach Allen and the difference in terms of, you know, our success from the beginning of the season to now? You know, I feel like as a defense, we've gotten significantly better throughout the year. So what changes have you seen from Coach Allen that do you think have attributed to that difference?
I mean, really just been getting some of our plays down, just such simple things that we can just run and execute fast. 'Cause, you know, a lot of teams try to tempo us and things like that, was getting us rush packages and stuff on the field. So we get fast calls now, a lot of things like that, and just the little things, like little techniques, little bites and errors and stuff like that. If you eliminate those, you can really excel as a defense and as a team. And then, I mean, recently, you've seen a lot of takeaways happening.
Yeah.
Especially in the back end, a lot of picks and interceptions and stuff like that. And sacks up front. I mean, we was just rushing as a team more, creating more takeaways and stuff like that. It was just big emphasis.
People don't realize, man, pass rush and pass coverage work in unison. And you don't get the pass rush if you're not stopping the run. Defense, you talk about the little things, the details. To go from a good defense to like a defense that'll restrict you like an anaconda is the little things, man. And as a fan,
Little things.
it's fun
They
to
don't
watch.
understand it.
They don't get it.
And so, you know, you were here last season, and you know we've had our pitfalls offensively last season, and I think we've done an incredible job of highlighting our strengths as an offense in terms of using different weapons from Tyler Warren, Amari Evans, Trey, Nick, Fat. You know, we've done a good job of highlighting those players. But what do you think has been the difference in terms of last year versus this year? You know, each offensive coordinator, of course, has done, you know, a tremendous job in their own way. But what do you think has been the difference this year in terms of who we are, our identity as an offense?
I would say it's like being able to be more multiple, give you different looks and things like that, and then put the best players in position to make plays. If you can get a guy like Trey Harris in a one-on-one position, he can break away and make a crazy catch. It's just like you got to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you put guys in space. Tyler Warren, he gets the ball any kind of way you can give it to him. He gonna make something happen. So I mean, it's just they figured out ways to make our offense look like one way, do another thing, or really just run it down your throat. I mean, we got two great backs, so it's like
It makes things easier.
we can do anything we want.
Big backs. Like, So, and then just in terms of, you know, the teams that we've seen versus what we've seen in practice, like how has that helped you transition from playing against one of the best offenses, I would say, in the country to now playing other teams like Purdue, Wisconsin, you know, teams like that? How has that transition been for you, or how has Coach K's offense helped you transition to those big
I would
games?
say Coach K's offense definitely keeps you on your toes and it keeps you thinking a lot. So like, you can have the best read of your life. You would think these guys are about to run an outside zone right here. You ready to go and do it. trickery, gone, other way.
Gotcha again, right?
Trickery, and the whole defense is looking like, dang, what's happening?
Yeah,
Touchdown, like we don't know what happened. We gotta watch the film, but like, I think playing against our offense and as good as our O-line has been for the last couple of years, I mean, translating that and going to other teams, it just makes it a lot easier for us.
Yeah. I think, I don't want to get too off on a tangent here, but I feel like if you aren't a part of college football or the NFL, and like you really haven't been around practices, it's hard to understand what the purpose of practice at this point in the season is. Like, if you're the outside looking in and don't get it, you might just think we're running around tackling each other all day. But really what great college football coaches do is put guys in positions in practice where they're in tougher situations mentally than what they will be on Saturdays. And you talk about Coach Kotelnicki and what his offense does being so multiple, you guys truly have to think constantly. And what that, again, results in is a smarter defense on Saturdays. Like, it's truly iron sharpening iron at this point.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's just, they play hand in hand. So, I mean, it's just great football on both sides now.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Okay, top 3 rappers right now. Who are you listening to? What's in your headphones?
Whew.
Yeah, you ain't think we was going
Lil
there.
Uzi Vert.
Uzi, still.
Wow. You heard his new album?
I listen to the new. I like Uzi. Don't hear me wrong.
Uzi,
Okay.
Lil Yachty,
Yachty, I like Yachty.
and we're going Lil Durk.
Lil Durk.
Yeah,
top
Lil Durk. But I'm not
Come on.
going new Lil Durk. I'm going Lil Durk from like 2012, 2015.
Okay. Unfortunately, I hear we might not be getting new Lil Durk for a
That's why
while.
I'm still stuck in my old ways.
hey, we might be getting new Thug and Drake, so
I can't wait for that new Thug, boy.
Yeah, let's pray for that.
Yeah.
But I mean, is there anything, to those young kids? Sorry, just want to get back to the.
Go ahead.
But is there anything any advice that you would have for that young Virginia native kid that wants to play defensive line at a high level like yourself? Do you have any advice?
Man, first of all, start off playing something like soccer or anything like that's going to get your feet moving and just stick with that for a little bit and then get into football and really tap into the little mechanics of things like that. I mean, just getting coaching. For me, I was a guy that wasn't really – I didn't take football too seriously when I was younger. It was just more of like a child's game for me. I'm around there, wake up Saturday, go play football. Get out. I'm at home riding dirt bikes with my friends and stuff like that. It's just – that's what I like to do.
Are you a country boy at heart, by the way?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
My whole family from the country.
Yeah. We talk about ATV and dirt biking.
Yeah.
So what is one thing that what is one thing about you that you think the people should know?
I like to laugh a lot, but I was a lifeguard for a while.
All right.
That's the most
laugh at that,
random.
but
Nah, it's just like so random. Like
It is
look,
kind of random.
Again, so I was on the swim team growing up, bro. So I understand. He turned. You
Not my neck.
Oh, I thought you were being sarcastic. You wouldn't
Not
do
my
that to me,
neck.
right?
Not my
So I
neck.
actually got the city of Cincinnati's backstroke record for the 8th grade 50 meter. Okay, so I was like that, right? My point is, to be a lifeguard, that's intense. Like, you got to be a high level swimmer to do that.
Yeah.
How? I'm not going to play in any stereotypes here, but you're a big dog. Okay, when did you realize that you were a proficient swimmer?
Shoot, really young. My sisters both did like AAU swimming.
So y'all swim for real?
Yeah, a little bit. So yeah, my sisters done AAU swimming, and I was like taking swim lessons. I did swim lessons for like 3 years straight.
Okay.
Because I was like 4, so I was just doing it. And then I'm just kind of stuck with it. I always swam, and then I just went and did lifeguard tests when I turned like 14, 15.
That's respect. Were you ever on the swim team or anything?
Nah, I never did swim team.
Okay.
But I just did like the lifeguard stuff, and it's pretty fun.
Imagine seeing Alonzo in a lifeguard chair.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't be going in the deep end that day. Nah, I trust though
cool
to save
little
me, dog.
gig,
But
man.
we both
Yeah.
big though, so I don't know. That's a lot of weight moving around.
Look, I challenge anybody to a little swim race.
It's a little race. Actually, so while we're on the topic, I never have told this story. I'm again far enough removed where the NCAA is not going to do nothing to me. But when I was running low on funds in the summertime, like my stipend would be running low, right? Again, I'm a big black kid with a mohawk, not to feed into stereotypes, but I go to that pool over at the Pollock, right outside Nittany Apartments. I forget what it's called.
Yeah,
and it used to be open in the summer for students that were there. I'd get in that swim lane, and I'd charge drunk college kids $20 to race me, and I would get my food money off of that. I would race drunk college kids in the middle of that pool, cook them. $20, just like that. Cash App, Venmo, whatever you got. I'm just telling you, free pizza money, bro. That fed me many times my freshman year, that concept. So that's a fact.
Speaking of eating, what y'all top like spots down here?
Vaughn, I'll let you go first. You're the food connoisseur of State College. You're like the mayor.
American Ale House, great place. Carnegie, another incredible place. I love me some Carnegie. The grace of Carnegie House.
Okay.
This is all in Toff Trees, by the way. Wow. And you know what? The Tavern.
I do like
Another
the Tavern.
great place.
I do like the Tavern.
Sleeper pick. Nobody really talks about their lunch menu, but Bagel Crust has an elite lunch menu.
Yeah.
Never tried their lunch.
Oh my goodness. They the niche. Shout out to Nick Dawkins. He put me on. I appreciate you. It is incredible. The niche.
The niche. Is that what I had at your place that one time?
No, that was the. I forget what
It
it
had
was called.
like jelly. It was like a sweet and sour. It was good, bro. It was good. My top 3. I'm just gonna go downtown. No order. Campus Steaks has kept me fed on many a late night. Shout out Joe Ford. Love Campus Steaks. Number 2, I'm gonna go Sours Cafe. If you haven't tried Sours, you got to go on Burger. I think Thursday.
It's
right?
Thursday.
Yeah.
They sell out before 1 o'clock. So
you got to get
a little
there.
early.
The Hallelujah Burger. And if you're trying to watch your carbs, you get a salad on the bottom of that thing, bro. That was fire. And then number 3, man, I'm gonna go.
Carter's.
I'm gonna go Pita Cabana.
Pita.
I love Pita Cabana. Shout out Joseph Darkway. He put me onto that sophomore year. So
I've never even tried that.
you gotta check it.
Cabana. It's just,
Go get a bowl of chicken and rice,
good.
bro. They'll hook it up. Garlic mayo.
Shout out to Carter's table too.
I didn't try Carter's
Oh
table
my
yet.
goodness, incredible!
You gotta come to the
Incredible.
facility.
Yeah. What's your top 3?
All right, so I'm gonna definitely put Carter's tables in mine.
Yeah.
Sours Cafe
Okay.
for the burgers on Thursdays.
Yep.
The Coop.
The Coop.
The Coop.
I
They got
haven't
some
tried the
good
Coop
chicken.
either.
You gotta try the Coop.
Yeah,
they
They
got
got little
some
Korean
good
fried hot dogs.
The real deal?
They cool.
Unreal.
It's a little weird.
I might
but
go right
it's
after
cool.
this.
I think they closed. They closed early.
That's a shame.
But
Disheartening.
yeah. Unreal.
Well, listen, Alonzo, we appreciate your time. Obviously, this time of the season is critical for y'all. And to the Penn State fans who are watching, make sure to stay tuned. If you aren't tapped into State Media, if you aren't subscribed, do that now. We're going to continue to bring you podcasts with Penn State's best players. As we get to the, hopefully, I can say this, they can't, the playoffs. We're going 1-0, but that time is coming really soon. So make sure to stay tuned in. D'Von, go ahead.
And another thing too, if you're ever in the spirit of giving, the time of giving is coming upon us now. We're in that November, December time.
Yes, we are.
I will be participating in the Day of Giving, D'Von's Day of Giving for an ALS program. Shout out to everybody that is involved, helping me set that up. But I will attach the link to my page if anybody is looking to donate.
Yep, and we'll bring that up again next week.
Yes, sir.
We'll throw a link on the bio of the YouTube video as well. But obviously, again, Thanksgiving is right around the corner.
Christmas is right around the corner.
This is the time of year for it.
You know what I
It's a
mean?
good cause.
And a lot of families, they struggle around this time of
they
year. So I think it's just super important that everyone does their part. Everybody gives out a hand. We have more than most. I'm sure those people watching us, they're in fortunate positions. If not, keep going. If so, please keep giving. And, just try and be a part of something bigger than yourself.
It's a powerful cause. Thank you again for tuning in to another episode of The Lions Den. Stay tuned next week for yet another episode. We're going to shout our next guest out already, Kobe King. The legend, number 41, is going to be joining us.
Mike.
Stay tuned. We'll be back next week.
Appreciate you, Zoe.
Thanks for having me, man.
My guy.
Yes, sir.